My worst nightmare is when somebody buys a yacht or a boat, which is my passion, and they go into it and they don't know what to expect, and they end up hating it. To me, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. All right, hey guys, it's Nick Cardoza with Mr. Yachts. I get a lot of frequently asked questions in my business from all over the world, and a lot of people are worried about depreciation of boats. Rightfully so. How much am I gonna lose on this boat if I buy it? How much am I gonna lose in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? So I came up with this funny concept. You know, there's gonna be haters out there, but I call it owning a boat for free. I might have mentioned this in another video before, but I really think it's not about how much the boat costs to buy, but it's how much it costs to sell the boat at the end, which includes all of your expenses, right? You buy a car for $100,000, but you also got to do your tires and your maintenance and your blah, blah, blah. Same with a boat. So how do we get a yacht for free? Well, it's all about putting your asset to work. If you buy the right boat, the things are practically money printers. They're cash machines. And so I want to explain to you a little bit how that works, how you can not only offset your costs, but make a profit, and hopefully in the end, you can sell the boat and get not only the money you paid into it, but more, and roll it into the next boat. All right, so look, there's an average of 220 sunny days in South Florida. Obviously, this doesn't apply to places like Europe where they have shorter seasons, and specifically I'm talking about the Miami market because that's what I know best, and that's where there's the most day charters. We can get into term charters later, but the math all works out the same in the end, which is the beautiful part of this. So let's take a worst case scenario and cut that number in half. We get down to 110. Let's call it 120 to make numbers even because there's 12 months, 120 days, that's 10 days a month. So if you really break it down weekly, it's 2.5 charters. That's like 2 full days and a half day, but it doesn't really matter as long as you get 10 days a month, it adds up. So if you have a competitively priced boat in this market, I can tell you that you're probably gonna get more than 10 charters a month. You know, I'm not gonna say how many, but you know, we've seen some boats charter in the high teens per month. So I'm gonna give you a very, you know, brute example of $1 million just to make math easy. And then we'll work the numbers backwards so that you know that it makes sense, right? Okay, Nick, so how are you gonna sell me a boat for free? Well, first, let's talk about the cost of the boat. I'll tell you about the running costs, how much it costs to run the boat, and how to offset those costs. I have an entire Excel sheet and whole outline of this. So if you'd like some information, just let me know. Happy to go over it with you. But I'll try to explain as much of it as I can in this video. So first of all, let me give you an example of $1 million boat that you're gonna finance. First of all, you don't buy $1 million boat for $1 million. You buy a $1.3 to $1.5 million boat for $1 million, if you can. Whatever it is, the point is, if you buy something for $1 million, you're gonna put down 20%, you'll finance it over 20 or 30 years. If you do it for 20 at 4.5% interest, you're gonna be around the $5,000 a month mark, right? Great, so now that's how much your boat costs for 20 years, but you gotta keep it somewhere, so you've got dockage, you've got crew, you've got maintenance costs, daily, monthly, annually, and that's pretty much what boats cost. I mean, there's some fuel costs in there, but I find them to be quite negligible, at least in the day charter market. And then when you do term charters, the guests pay for the fuel. So again, it's not really a cost. So we'll keep fuel out. And again, in my deck that I have, I include a lot of other costs like crew uniforms, soft drinks, snacks, you know, laundry. Every little thing adds up on these things, and that's why a lot of people get into boats and they regret it. And you have the naysayers that the happiest day of your life is the day you bought it and the day you sold it. And it's just not true, but I'm glad I'm there for both days of your happiest day of your life. Let's get into the running costs, okay? I'll break those down for you now. The crew, biggest cost in the boat, crew. Almost 50% every time. You know, your captain, they're gonna want, you know, the rule of thumb in the industry, at least when I was a captain, was $1,000 per foot per year. So if you've got a 50-foot boat, you're gonna be looking at around $50,000 for this guy to run the boat. Now, if you're chartering it out heavily, he'll make tips, so maybe you can negotiate a lower price. Captains, don't shoot me. But it's true, you will make more money, and you know, it's tip money, it's better money. But if it's gonna be for private use, it'll be a little bit more expensive, but that's not what we're talking about in this video. So we'll take like a 50, 55 foot boat, $1 million, 200,000 down, your 5,000 a month in mortgage. You get your captain for 50,000 a year. It's like, 4 and change a month. And then you got your dockage. Depending on where you keep it, you can get cheaper dockage, more expensive. I like to be in better marinas because it's more presentable to the client, and therefore, you can get more money for the boat. And then what else? We got insurance on a boat like that's probably, and I'm not advising or telling anybody what insurance is, but I've seen it as low as 10,000 a year up to 15, maybe a little bit higher. Let's go with the worst case scenario, it's 15. And so you're a little over 1,000 and change on that. And then we've got to pay for, your annual maintenance. I think you pull it out of the water, do the bottom, we're going to repaint the bottom. That's maybe some stuff. It's probably another 10 grand a year. So that kind of evens out. It's about the same as the insurance. Okay. So now you want to get your total costs of all that stuff. So you got your 5,000 a month for your mortgage. You got your crew is like 4 and change. You got the marina, the insurance. You break down the haul out at the end of the year. You're just over $100,000 a year, maybe a little bit more. Call it maximum 150,000 a year. Just to again be on the safe side. Be a worst case scenario. So we got worst case scenario, 10 days a month. Worst case scenario, your $1 million boat costs $150,000 a year. And this $1 million boat should be a boat that you can charter out for about $5,000 a day. You got to pay the charter fees, which are 20%. So you're ending up with $4,000, $40,000 a month at the minimum of 10 charters a month. And then you divide the 150 by 12. You're like 12,000 and change a month. 40,000, you're about $27,000 profit just on that alone. Multiply that by 12, and boom, you got a boat that you're generating revenue on that after about 3 to 4 years, if you're consistent with that, pays off the boat itself. So then by the time you're done with it, you can sell the boat and you actually recoup all the money that you paid for the boat. And so you take all the money from the asset and roll it into the next boat. And that's when you call me again. Really, they're really rough numbers. Obviously, interest rates change all the time. People have different credit. Marinas have different quotes, and there's just a lot going on. But I tried to make it as average as possible with the most worst case scenarios possible, so that you don't come after me someday and say, "What'd you do to me?" Right? Because I'm actually pretty good at my job. What I want you to do is to feel comfortable buying boats, so that you call me and I can help consult you at least. Because my worst nightmare is when somebody buys a yacht or a boat, which is my passion, and they go into it and they don't know what to expect, and they end up hating it. To me, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. So look, I have an entire business model based around specifically this type of acquisition where you charter it out, and we can even get into the depreciation of the boats later on in another video because that's totally separate. But yeah, there is that too. But yeah, just get me in the comments. My email, any way you want to contact me, Instagram, everything. So I hope this video helps because it is something people ask me a lot about, and I'd love to just send them this video because it's pretty spot on, and I tell people this all the time, and I believe in it, and I do it, I live it. So look, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was educational. Drop me a line, comment, like, dislike. If I missed anything, let me know, and give me some more ideas about what else I can shoot, because I know a lot of people have questions and maybe are afraid to ask or don't know how to reach out. I'm right here. Thanks, guys, for watching again. Subscribe, add, all that stuff, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one.